Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. We're coming up on 7:30 here this morning, and as we know, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And joining us here this morning, beautiful guest Sandy Peterson, breast cancer survivor. And you're here to talk about, we have an event that we want to talk about, but we also want to kind of get to know you and share a little bit of your story with everybody here this morning.
Okay. Well, good morning. Thank you for being here. We were talking during the break, and you were telling me a scary situation when it comes to your story. What kind of breast cancer were you diagnosed with?
I was diagnosed with inflammatory breast cancer about a year ago on the 9th of this month. I had had my regular mammogram 2 months earlier and everything was clear, and I noticed that my breast was turning pink, and I'm like, that's weird because I'm 50 years old. I have no breastfeeding. I mean,
right?
I'm too old. I'm too old for this.
Thinking it's mastitis.
Yes, but I have mastitis, so I have to go to the doctor. So I went to the doctor, and she looked at it, and she's like, "You have to go see a breast surgeon." And I'm like, "No, I need some antibiotics," is what I thought. But she said, "No, you need to see a breast surgeon."
So you thought it was mastitis. For those of us that might not have had children, that can be an infection that happens when you breastfeed.
Yeah.
You're saying 50, that's not the issue, but I must have some kind of infection.
Some sort of infection.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because things weren't looking normal, even though you just had a mammogram and everything was looking clear.
Yes.
Okay.
And so she sent me to a breast surgeon, and he said, "We're doing a biopsy today." And I was originally just supposed to go in for just the consultation.
Right.
But he goes, "We're doing this today." And I'm like, okay.
What was happening besides just you noticing a color change in your breast? Anything else?
Nothing.
Any
Painful
lumps?
or
Any
I felt
pain?
No. I felt fine. I was like, you guys are crazy. in my mind. I mean, I wasn't going to say that, but he goes, "This is cancer." He goes, "I can't tell you that until I get the biopsy results back, but that's what this is."
Wow.
And then explain to everybody, because we've learned a lot here this morning, talking with you as well, about inflammatory breast cancer, and it's something that isn't detectable through a mammogram.
No.
And when it is finally detected, it's at a later stage.
Yeah, it's at stage 3 or 4 usually.
When it's found.
When it's found.
Because it has to develop to that level.
It has to yeah, before it can be found.
Before it can be detected, which is very shocking to me, as we're always preaching, get your mammograms. Obviously, you need to do your self-checks, but when we realize there's a breast cancer out there that you can't detect by feel or by all these amazing instruments that are out there now.
But there's no lumps or changes,
no lumps. Yeah, and I was just floored myself. I'd never heard of this before.
Right.
But a week later, I was in chemo. You know, and the treatment's for this different because it's, you know, it's at the later stage, so you have to
be more aggressive with.
Yeah, they have to go to chemo first to kind of shrink it, and then they have to do a mastectomy. There's no skin saving. There's no, you know, lumpectomy or anything. They have to take it off. And
can you describe why it's not detected by machines or by touch?
Because it grows in sheets. It's not a lump. It's not the normal breast cancer, and so it grows that way, and it's just a mean cancer, and it grows fast too. Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it. It's a mean cancer, and that's why we want people to know about it, because this is the first time I'm hearing of it, where something will grow more in a sheet around your tissue so you don't detect it, and neither does a machine, but you listen to your body. You noticed something was different. You went to your doctor, and your doctor recognized that you needed to see a specialist.
Yeah.
How are you doing now? Talk about the treatments you went through, and a year later, how are you doing?
I went through, 6 months of chemo, and then the surgery, and then they have to do a really hard radiation on top of that because it's in the skin when it's found. And I'm doing okay now. You know, they got clear margins, and as far as anybody can detect it, it's
all gone.
It's good. They'll never say it's all gone.
No.
Not with this one.
Well, yeah, if it's so hard to detect, how would you know?
They'll say, well, it'll go somewhere else probably, but they'll never say it's gone. They'll say there's no evidence of it.
Right. Which is a wonderful thing to hear this morning.
Yes,
so we want to say congratulations to that and for being a survivor of this. And now you're going on and saying, okay, let's come together as a community and get the word out and also some fundings for some wonderful causes.
I want to get the word out about this cancer, but I also, people in Indianola where I live, they really stood up and they really helped me. You know, my coworkers would give me, say, here, you need money for gas, and they give me gas money, and people would come over to my house and just sit there when I was sick and talk to me, and they mowed my yard. A retired teacher sewed me a big quilt, and all the people that I work at the school, they all filled out a square of the quilt and wrote inspiring messages on it. And
that's amazing.
All sorts of stuff. And I just feel a need to give back. So I started this walk that I'm doing. It's called Cancer Shmancer because Cancer Shmancer can't get me.
I like that.
and so we did that. And
is this the first year for this event then?
This is the first year.
Okay, it's happening on October the 19th.
Yes, at 8 o'clock in the morning. And we're going to walk around the Banner Lakes at Somerset Park. It's about 2 miles.
Okay.
And
then the proceeds from this event are going to benefit, talk about a few different programs there in Indianola.
Okay, Daubers Up, which helps families and people that have been thrown a curveball by illness or something, you know, something happening major in their family. And also Indianola Hope Foundation, which helps people that are in need temporarily. And let's see, what else am I given to?
It looks like the food program.
Yeah, the Indianola Food Program to help people that need food. And
then the elementary cares.
Then the elementary cares programs, which will help kids that, they need a coat, they need this, or
being a former teacher, I'm sure you're always thinking about the kids.
Yes, yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I love how a community came together to step up when you were in need, so now you want to give back to that community, but also give an inspiring message of Cancer Shmancer, because it is.
It is. I'm going
to. It is.
Now, what can people, are there things that we can do to learn more about this, or that we can get tested for before it gets to that stage 3? Or they just not, they haven't,
they just don't
that has not been.
You just have to really watch your body, because when I went in, I found it, well, my sister had breast cancer years ago, and so I've been going in for mammograms and stuff since I was 35. So, you know, I always got to kind of watch that anyway, so when something weird happens, I'm like, oh, I better go in.
Yeah.
And so that's how I found it. But
pay attention
to your body, and just do what if you find something weird, then
don't hesitate.
Don't hesitate.
Good for you for listening to your body, and thank you for sharing your story today. Learn more about inflammatory breast cancer, because it is not detected in the normal way. You're not going to feel a lump. The mammogram might not pick it up, but if you see something happening with your body, please go to your doctor and get checked. More details at cancer.org, but please don't forget the great Cancer Shmancer walk run next Saturday down in Indianola at Banner Parking Lot. It's going to be a ton of fun, so come together as a community with proceeds going back to so many wonderful organizations and programs in Indianola. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's continue to talk about great things happening in our community. You're watching Iowa Live here on CW Iowa 23.